So at the moment there is a big challenge around the electrification of the UK and pretty much everywhere. And the most important factor to this, and the biggest challenge really, is actually getting the power into the vehicles and getting the power in the first place. So as many will know, the national grid, they have got enough power, but actually getting that power to the places that need it, these chargers, it's difficult. It's not easy at all. The most obvious solution is batteries. And we're here today at Felton to talk about the Charge Qube, which you can see just behind me. And I've got Chris Hazel from Felton. Hey, Tim. To answer all our questions. So here she is. She's a beaut, isn't she? That is amazing. Chris, I was really excited when we had that conversation about what you're doing with Felton at the moment with this Charge Qube. Tell us all about it.
So the Charge Qube is basically designed and developed around second life batteries.
Okay.
Can use brand new ones, but why would you when there's loads of second life ones from things like this? Like old Rusty here.
Yeah, she's going strong, 118,500 miles. But you know, you're absolutely right that there are so many second life batteries out there that can be utilised in battery storage. So that's something that you're doing with your Charge Qube then?
Yeah, I mean, if you look back 5 years ago, there wouldn't be enough, but now EVs are taking off. There's more and more of them out there. Second life batteries are becoming more and more common, and there's got to be something done with them. You can either put them through a big grinder or reuse them in energy storage.
Perfect.
And they should last for 25 years.
Yep.
So from that point of view, we may as well use them for energy storage. So basically, Charge Qube's designed that it's got some inverters and stuff built in, so it takes AC power in to charge the batteries up, basically.
Yep.
Then when you come in with a load of vehicles and you want to charge them all, you don't need as much AC power.
Right.
So in most situations, someone might have, I don't know, 100 amps of AC available, but when they go and plug 12 cars in, they actually need 300 amps at that point in time. So the battery's there as that buffer to allow all those cars to charge at that point in time.
Yep.
And then basically it can trickle charge off the grid of whatever's available. And that's what you're saying, the power is there on the grid, it's just it's not necessarily there at that exact point in time at that volume you need it, but over a 24-hour period, there's more than enough. It's the peaks that are the problem.
Not only that, but it's, you know, yes, okay, you talk to your electric provider, your DNO, and it takes 30 days for them to even just respond to you in the first place, and then it can take up to 2, 3, 4, 5 years to actually get the power. Yes. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds.
It's crazy money.
It is big money. And to have a drop-in solution, you know, having a temporary solution as well like this that can be moved is ideal, because not everybody owns their depot, not everybody owns their site.
We don't own this site, but you know, we may have a 10-year lease, but we don't want to go and spend hundreds of thousands putting charge infrastructure in.
No.
When we can spend a fraction of that on these and just keep them as a semi-permanent.
Yeah.
So that's what it's designed as. It can be temporary for weeks at a time, but in most situations it will go and sit somewhere for 5-10 years. That's why it's a sea container. These have got a 25-year lifespan.
Yeah.
And obviously we have the really cool pavilions over there.
Yes, I like the pavilions, because quite a lot of the time when I used to work in infrastructure before, Chempower, which was one of the chargers that I used to sell, they called them satellites, but I love pavilion.
It's a bit posher.
Yeah, so it reminds me of summertime and playing cricket. Very British.
Very British, that's
so,
true.
So in terms of the actual power, the trickle charge that these can cope with, what sort of power goes into them? Is it DC? Is it AC?
So this takes in 32 amp 3-phase AC.
Yep.
But we can do up to 125 amp AC in, depending on how big the battery is.
Yeah.
This is a 150 kilowatt hour version. In these containers, we'll do up to 450 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
And then we'll do a 20-foot, which has over a megawatt in.
Oh,
So
wow.
that power input will vary depending on battery size.
Yep.
In a lot of situations, we're doing a version of this with 240 kilowatt DC rapid charging.
Wow, okay,
So we'll have
nice.
two 120 kilowatt guns, or if you use one of them, you get 240 kilowatt for that crazy fast charging speed, which means we'll probably have at least a 450 kilowatt hour battery, but as big a grid supply as available to just keep topping that battery up so it can do that crazy high peak when needed.
And are these going to be able to be modular as well?
Yeah, so you can daisy chain these together.
Oh, brilliant.
Because they'll just tie into a common AC bus.
Yep.
So by doing that, you can just link multiples together without any big issues. The main thing to sort of explain on this is these are a zero export. So they're classed as an appliance, so they do not feed back to grid.
Right,
which is the big thing with the DNO, is if you're going to put a inverter on the grid that could feed back, it's a big no-no. You'll then need to get permission, and is it G98 and all those things?
G99
because this is classed as an appliance and it does not feed back to the grid, and it cannot feed back to the grid.
Yeah.
The fact is you can just drop and go. You don't have to. We are talking to DNOs and going, this is a product. This is what it does. Can you please pre-agree with us that we do not require to tell you, because it cannot. It's not able to feed back. Meaning drop it, use it, take it away again, which means quickly put it in for an event, take it out. So if you've got a marketing company and you're doing loads of EV stuff at a manor house, you don't want to run diesel generator for the weekend.
But it does happen.
It does happen, I'm going to go and test drive this lovely new EV, yet I'm on a site with a diesel generator.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
This does hybrid generation, so you may put a generator with it, but it might only turn the generator on for a couple of hours a day. To charge the battery up and then shut the generator off again. I can show you inside. There is a
that'd be good.
There is a software engineer inside at the moment playing around with stuff.
Hopefully,
in the warm. But don't worry, don't lock him in at night and keep him in here. So we've got basically an inverter here. Which is a very off-the-shelf inverter that we just made some tweaks to. Has 2 DC inputs, so we can do up to over 900 volts in. Which means we can run multiple packs. It means we get good efficiency then as well. And obviously we've got our Proteus board here, which has all of our just general AC stuff in, all our safety breakers and RCBOs for the charging. And then like main shutdowns. And then we've basically got VCUs controlling the packs. They're not in their case at the moment, but as you can see here, we've got some very nice built, designed PCBs here that do all our comms with the Tesla packs.
Oh, so you've got Tesla packs in here?
Yeah, so these are Tesla packs. We can also use VW, BYD, all that sort of stuff.
So how many Tesla packs for the... So it's just 2, I guess?
2 at the moment, but there's up to 6 in here.
Okay, nice.
But the key thing is with us, the reason we got to this point is because we did so much in the retrofit world, as you know, reverse engineering, that we've actually got the tools and we've got the software to bring these things live and make them work outside of the vehicle. But it means we're still running all the original Tesla software. So the safety systems are there. Then a full cooling system. Then on the outside of the thing, we've got...
Yeah, because safety is a big issue, because I know that insurance companies, they do get a little bit nervous when we're talking about battery storage. And I think when we had the conversation before, you were talking about, the fact that the batteries from cars tend to be a lot more safer, and there's a lot more tests that have gone into those types of batteries rather than your off-the-shelf sort of stuff.
I mean, I've seen the way you drive this. But the vibration this goes for, the abuse cars go for, they get kicked underneath, they end up in lots of like horrible situations, they get flooded, all these sort of things. Those batteries in the cars have gone through so much testing. Whereas an energy storage battery just doesn't. It goes and sits somewhere. So at least with them, we know they're robust, we know they're safe. We know they've got really advanced battery management systems. And then each side, we've basically got a charger on either side. With OCPP, so in theory we can do payments if we need to.
Okay, nice.
The main thing is at least we can monitor the usage on every single charger. So if you're at a fleet, you know what charger's got what use where. And then basically you'll have multiple of these on the pavilions.
So how many can it go up to? How many
chargers? This system's designed to go up to 12 chargers in total. That seems to be a sensible...
And load balancing the power available.
Correct. So it'll load balance across it, and then basically underneath these little doors here.
And to explain to everyone, load balancing as in splitting that power across the AC
across
chargers,
these outputs, keep the phase back. So we'll have our 3-phase in, and then we'll have our multiple outputs to go to the chargers. Then they basically close down a nice little door so people can't unplug them.
And that what kind of maximum output ampage can commando socket do?
So we're doing 32 amps per phase. So each charger is 7 kilowatts. At the moment, and we can do 11 and 22 kilowatt if we need to, but in most situations, a row of 7 kilowatts for overnight charging for fleet seems to be about right. Maybe we need some larger ones for if bigger vans come out with bigger battery capacity.
I mean,
which are coming eventually.
I'm just thinking from a HGV point of view. I think I see this as being very valuable to help depots for a quick charge if they haven't got the availability of power, to have the ability of putting a 40 plus kilowatt DC charge.
You'd have our big 240 kilowatt CCS option or something along those lines, or maybe smaller DC chargers in here, as you said, like 40 kilowatt version or something like that. And then obviously you've got the pavilion, which is hidden behind our cameraman.
Thanks Jerome for filming.
And this is
check out his channel, Outrun. If you haven't seen it already, guys, I'm sure you know Jerome by now.
This is currently on Zappies because we've just testing out a mixture of different charger options, basically. And as you can see, it's sort of designed like a mini tea container. Which is how I want it to be. It looks fitting for the Cube. But these are pretty sturdy. They're like absolutely solid, so you can crash into them.
It's been tested by a local rugby player. That's what I want to do. It looks like a crash bag. In a way.
Van drivers and fleet people will crash into them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They'll naturally hit them and knock them around. So they're sturdy, solid, heavy,
robust. Yes.
And then you basically got your cradle tray on your rubber feet that you just run in. So it means everything just stays temporary.
And look, it's working.
Even charging.
Rusty is getting a charge, because if not, I'll be staying the night. So, yeah, another thing that we spoke about on the phone a while back is the fact that, and which is really, really important to a lot of organisations, especially government organisations, is the fact that it's not, although it's got Chinese parts in a way,
Yep.
That data isn't shared on a cloud
Correct.
at all.
So it goes to our cloud. So
Yeah.
we'll have a Starlink or some systems go into an AWS server, which will then maintain and look after all the data.
Yeah.
So any Chinese parts are completely offline to their original cloud-based systems. So we take the comms into our unit.
Right.
And from our unit, we decide where it goes and we can control it.
Yeah.
So currently there's some Chinese parts in there. Long term, there may not be any.
Okay.
We're talking to different European suppliers and stuff for components to move away from that if we need to. But to be honest, the Chinese are good at a lot of things, and the inverter power and technology they've got is
Yeah,
cost
yeah.
effective and very reliable.
This is it,
So
yeah.
it's sort of that thing of it's sometimes just not worth pulling away completely.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, we're looking at the CCS rapid charger stuff at the moment, and that's the big thing for us is finding the right DC-DC units to convert from battery straight to charging,
Yeah.
rather than going back to AC.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
want to keep the efficiency as good
Yeah,
as
you want to
can.
minimise those losses, don't you?
Definitely.
No, that's cool. So, monies.
Monies.
Price.
I don't want to
Talk
tell
to
you
me.
monies.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Now we're trying to do sale, rental, and long-term lease.
Okay, nice.
So in most situations, companies don't have enough capex to buy them outright.
No.
Rental will be obviously more expensive, but good for potential short periods of
Yep.
time where you want to get one in, trial it for a period of time.
For events,
Check you're
etc.
happy. Yeah, events. Or there's those people that are a bit, worried about what if EVs aren't the future and stuff like that. So,
What if EVs
I
aren't
know
the
everyone's
future?
moved across to EVs and they're mass produced now. So and then the new reports that have just come out about sales, and there's proof that it's going the opposite to what we get told on social media.
I think it's the fact that there's one camp, it's like 100% EV, and then the other camp's just like, no, EVs aren't going to work. I think that there needs to be a bit more grey. But that's another video.
I think the argument I
altogether.
have is if the government came to you right now and said you must go to hydrogen, you don't actually go, I want an EV.
Yeah.
But if whatever the government push, because what they did with the diesel stuff all those years ago, and now everyone's having to get rid of deals, people are a little bit like, well, the government's telling us to do this. Do we want to listen to them? So,
Absolutely.
But technically, the EVs, like I've been driving the Tesla for now for a couple of months, and it's just so much nicer than my gas car.
The broken one. Yeah.
And it's quick and it's powerful, and it's just completely different. So once you get in one and you start doing it, you come out every morning and it's heated up, ready.
Oh no, it's good, isn't it?
It's just so easy. So yeah, I mean, the EVs are going to become the future, but the next thing is the leasing. If we put on a 3-year lease, it's really cost effective. It ends up being pretty much the same cost as what they're leasing that van for every month.
Yeah.
And they've got their charge infrastructure for say up to 12 vehicles. So that's the key thing. And then we can do a service contract alongside that with some of the companies that you've worked for in the past that can then go out and service and look after these cubes all over the country. And basically just make reliable charging solutions that don't require crazy amounts of grid infrastructure being put in.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what the EV transition needs. Are products like this, solutions to the challenges that we've got at the moment from a power point of view, because that is the main challenge at the moment. Not just working out which EV might be the best in potential situations, make sure it's fit for purpose, but power. Power is such a big part of it. And it's great to see that Felton are using their expertise by creating something like the Charge Qube to fill that gap.
Yep.
Spot on. That's all, folks. And hopefully I'll see you next time.